So moving on from next subsection, from external appointments, we have the internal staff appointments section. This is where you can enter details of each member of staff working at the practice. So within this section of the file, if you click Add to add in a new form in the blue button, you'll see a new form drop down, and it indicates all the areas that any person could be doing within a dental practice with respect to their professional qualifications and also with respect to compliance with the UK radiation protection legislation. If you go down to the bottom of the page, you'll see that you can add in a new form for a new person. So each of these forms is for one individual person. Please note that it does not mean that one person will be doing all the duties listed on this form. So taking each of the categories into consideration. Firstly, there is information in the Dental Guidance Notes, the second edition, which you can download a copy of here, with regard to professional dental care professionals and the qualification scope of practice. First entry is we have the name of the duty holder. This is the person who's actually undertaking the duties listed below. So, for a dentist, the duty name would be that dentist's name. It would then be their GDC registration number and what their role was at the practice. There is also an information tab that can be seen here that directs you towards the GDC's scope of practice in terms of what roles can be undertaken at a dental practice. Under the role, we have a tick box for appointed as RPS. A radiation protection supervisor, RPS, is the person whose primary role is to make sure that your local rules are adhered to and be a port of call for anybody with any radiation protection issues within the practice. The qualification, any qualifications that have been obtained, and again we have an information tab that will provide dental undergraduate degree, for example, and these should be entered in these boxes with the date that it was achieved. If there's more than one, we can enter another qualification. Underneath these professional qualifications, we have boxes indicating any training that that particular duty holder has undertaken with respect to the ionising radiations regulations, or the Northern Irish version. So this will likely be a course that you've attended externally, and it could have been online or it could have been in person. Beneath that box, we have the IRMA, what training courses that have been attended. And again, information tabs on both. So the ionising radiation medical exposure regulations and the Northern Irish version, any courses that have covered that particular legislation, the name of the person, the duty holder can be entered here, and the date that that course was attended can be entered here. Multiple courses can be entered in the boxes. The cone beam CT, where practices have cone beam CT or 3D imaging. Courses that have been attended can be again entered in the boxes provided. and also the date. In-house operator duties. In-house operator duties are basically training, which is not necessarily formal, have been received within the practice. So, for example, where a dentist has given training to a dental nurse within the practice to undertake phosphor plate processing, this information can be entered here and the date that that informal training was provided to the dental nurse. Further down the page, we come to the duty holder's tasks. There are three main tasks within this file in terms of IRMA. The first of those tasks is the referrer. The referrer is the person who provides adequate information to the IRMA practitioner, which we will come on to in a second, in order for that IRMA practitioner to justify and authorise the radiographic exposure to be undertaken. So on the file we can see we have referrer tasks, and below that we have practitioner tasks. In addition, we have operator tasks. The operator's role is to undertake any of the practical aspects of getting the right patient in the chair to be exposed to X-rays, through to the clinical evaluation of the radiographic image, and also any quality assurance test exposures. So to go back to the referrer tasks, we have refer for intraoral examinations, panoramic examinations, lateral cephalometric examinations, and for cone beam CT dental examinations. And again, for the CT, we have an information tab that relates back to the guidance notes. For practices where you have intraoral equipment only, then that intraoral equipment is the only type of examination you will be doing within the practice. So the person and duty holder, the date that they were entitled by the employer to undertake this duty, should be entered in this box here. Please note that the current version of IRMA came into force on the 6th of February 2018. So if everybody is entitled on the 6th of February 2018, it will be under the current version of IRMA. Any staff members that have started after the 6th of February 2018, their date should obviously be entered in here. The duty holder's signature is the person undertaking the duty itself. So in this case, our dentist, that would be their signature or name. The assessor's signature is the person who's assessed the duty holder to be competent to undertake that role. So that may be the employer or the dental practice itself. Again, there's an information tab above, which gives more information. Where practices have panoramic equipment, the same would apply here when they were entitled to refer for panoramic examinations. Equally so for lateral cephalometrics and also for cone beam CT. Moving on to the practitioner. So as I mentioned previously, the practitioner is the person who is giving authorization and justification for the exposure to happen. So in this case, our dentist, although they're also a referrer, they're also a practitioner as well. So they can justify requests for intraoral examinations from themselves, effectively. Equally so if you have panoramic X-ray equipment. You could fill in the box there provided, lateral KEFs, cone beam CTs, and also if you have situations where carers and comforters are involved, then we've got a box for that as well. Again, the duty holder's signature will be the person undertaking this particular duty, and the assessor's signature is the person who's assessed them as competent to do that duty. Operator tasks. So this starts from identifying the correct person to be exposed to radiation. So if the person you are talking about, their duty is to undertake patient identification, to make sure they've got the right person in the chair to be exposed to radiation, then this is where you would enter their duty holder signature, the date they're entitled to do that by the employer, and also the person who's assessed them as competent to undertake that particular duty. And you'll see there's various different duties listed here under the operator, such as processing films if you still use wet chemistry, processing CDR plates, computed digital radiography, phosphor plates, right through to clinically evaluating the radiographic image, whether that be standard 2D imaging or cone beam CT imaging. And finally, we have competent to carry out quality assurance on the equipment. And this, as we remember, is for one member of staff. And when we get to the end of the page, the person who's entitled, the duty holder, to undertake all of the duties listed above, put their name, signature and date, and the duty holder can also put their name, signature and date to understand that they've been entitled to undertake those roles. Once we get to that person, we can move on to the second member of staff, and we can go through the process again by clicking the blue Add button.